Hey friends, welcome back to the podcast. I want to start today's episode a little differently. As many of you know, or many of you probably don't know actually, I don't know. Our community just experienced a historic and pretty devastating storms. We had winds that were clocking in over 100 miles per hour. So for northern Minnesota, which is far from any ocean, is pretty unheard of. Huge trees were uprooted, power lines are still down, homes and buildings and businesses are damaged, and many people were left without power in sweltering heat and humidity. There are still people in our community days later without power, with trees into their homes on top of cars. It's the kind of storm that will be remembered in this region for decades, probably. Not just for its destruction, but also for what has followed. In the days since, I've witnessed something pretty powerful. I see communities helping communities, neighbors helping neighbors, first responders working long shifts, linemen from other communities coming and working long shifts. And it reminds me that there is something powerful about hardship that reveals who people really are. It got me thinking how we respond to the storms of life, both literal and metaphorical. It's often more important than the actual storm itself and more impactful. Today we're going to talk about resilience and mindset and how choosing our response can shape our health, our faith, and ultimately our life satisfaction. Are you a busy woman in leadership who feels pulled in 1,000 directions? Do you wrestle with perfectionism, people-pleasing, or never feeling like you're enough no matter how successful you are on paper? Are you longing for more time, more peace, and more energy to live and lead the way God intended? Sister, you are right where you need to be. Hi, I'm Tanya, a wife, mom, healthcare leader, Christian life coach, and functional health practitioner. I spent decades hustling for my worth through achievement and approval, only to end up burned out and exhausted. But God showed me a better way, a grace-fueled way, and now I help women just like you break free from people-pleasing and overwhelm, lead well, live well, and be well. Here we blend spirit-driven success with practical leadership, wellness, and mindset strategies so that you can multiply your time and impact without sacrificing your health or your family. If you're ready to lead well, live healthier, and finally find the peace and purpose God has waiting for you, you are in the right place. So roll up your sleeves, sister friends. It's time to reclaim your time, restore your joy, and lead from grace. And just as a reminder, the information you hear on this show is not meant to diagnose, manage, or treat disease. Always consult with your own health practitioner before you make any changes to your health. As I watch the aftermath of this huge storm, it strikes me how differently people respond. Some are very understandably overwhelmed or anxious, especially those with significant damage, while others, though equally impacted, have a sense of peace, focus, and even purpose in their steps. Same storm, same heat, same destruction, different mindset. And this is where I want to introduce a name that I've talked about before and one you might recognize, and that's Viktor Frankl. Frankl was a Holocaust survivor and a psychiatrist who wrote one of the most profound books called Man's Search for Meaning. And his central belief is that between stimulus and response, there's a space. And in that space lies our freedom and our power to choose our response. Frankl's life in the concentration camps gave him really brutal first-hand experience of suffering. Yet, he came to believe that our ability to choose our attitude, even in suffering, extreme suffering, is what determines the quality and meaning of our lives. Did you hear me? Our freedom lies in our ability to choose our attitude, not in the circumstances or in the absence of struggle. Now, let's get practical with this. We all go through storms, some external, like what we just faced, and others are internal. Burnout, relational stress, health issues, fear, uncertainty. But Frankl's words ring just as true. Even when everything feels out of control, we still get to choose our response. And this choice doesn't mean pretending we're fine or ignoring real pain. It means we can feel the weight and still decide not to let it define us. We can choose faith over fear, hope over despair, action over helplessness, grace over bitterness. Here's where this ties back to leadership. As women leaders, whether in our homes, teams, or communities, we are constantly being watched. Not in a pressure-filled way, but in a you have influence kind of way. The way that we weather our storms becomes permission for others to do the same. That said, what kind of example do you want to set for those over whom you have influence? Do you want to set an example of being reactive, victim-minded, or powerless? Or do you want to set an example of peace, purpose, and resolve? Do you want to be a victim of your circumstance, or do you want to be victorious in your resilience? Now, let's talk about what happens in our bodies when we go through storms. Chronic stress, even if it starts as circumstantial, becomes a physiological event. Cortisol spikes, blood sugar destabilizes, hormones go haywire, our immune system weakens, our digestion slows. If we stay in a reactive state too long, it becomes our new normal. And that's when health starts to unravel. But here's the good news. The same way we can choose our mental response, we can choose habits that bring our bodies back to safety and peace. This is why I love functional health so much. It's not just about supplements and protocols, it's about helping the body remember safety so it can stop reacting and start repairing. And our faith is part of that healing. When we partner with God in the middle of a storm, when we declare, I don't know how this ends, but I know who is with me, our whole system begins to calm. As Isaiah chapter 26 verse 3 says, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust you. Here are a few ways to move forward when you're facing the storm or its aftermath, literally and figuratively. Number 1, pause and breathe. Take 2 minutes to just breathe deeply, activating the parasympathetic nervous system. Remember, the parasympathetic nervous system is our rest and repair portion of our nervous system. Number 2, and this is important, name what you can control. Make a list of what is within your power. Start small. Number 3, fuel your body wisely. Nourish with simple, whole foods the way that God made them. Drink water. Get sunlight. First thing in the morning, even if it's just to step outside, get sunlight into your eyes and throughout the day. Number 4, invite God into the moment. Ask, Lord, what do you want me to learn here? How can I grow through this? And finally, connect with other people. Don't isolate yourself. Call a friend. Share a need. Serve someone else. Resilience isn't about being unaffected. It's about being able to recover, to heal, to grow, to lead again, even stronger. My friends, storms will come. That is a guarantee. But who we become because of the storm and how we show up in it is where the real opportunity lies. Like Viktor Frankl said, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. You may not have chosen your circumstances, but you can choose your response. You can choose peace. You can choose purpose. You can choose healing. And when you do, you not only rebuild your own strength, you give others permission to rebuild also. Thank you so much for listening today. I pray that this episode encouraged you and gave you a fresh lens on your current storm, or the ones you've walked through before. Until next time, lead well, live well, and be well, sister friend. I pray this episode blessed you, spoke to you, or encouraged you in some way. If so, please share it with a friend and head on over to Apple Podcasts to leave me a review. That's the only way for me to know if you're enjoying the show. Nothing blesses me more than to hear from you. Also, come on over to our free Facebook community. This is a great place for us to support one another on our faith and leadership journeys. You can find the link to the group in the show notes or go to gracefilledleader.com/community. If you have questions or content ideas for the show, please send me a message on SpeakPipe or via email. Go to gracefilledleader.com/contact and leave a written or voice recorded message. I would love to know how I can best serve you on the podcast. Now to Him who can do immeasurably more than we can ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us. Ephesians 3, verse 20. Until next time, my friends, God bless.